Hello everyone, and a very warm welcome to my subscribers. In the last video, I unboxed the LG 6K. Unfortunately, that monitor still had some panel issues. I basically, long story short, didn't jump for any OLED technology, mini LED technology. I just went back to the good old IPS LCD. For my development purposes, that's my major use case. So this is the Dell U3225QE. It's last year's model, came out in February 2025. I want to revisit this in 2026. Hopefully it's going to be a good purchase. I hope the panel is going to be good. Let's unbox this and let's get started. So from a connectivity point of view, this monitor is outstanding. Look at all the ports that we have. These are all of the ports. So let's get started here. You have one HDMI, two display ports. One is upstream, one is downstream. So you can do a daisy chaining. And that's what I'm going to be doing and showing you this with my U3223 that I already had that I showed you earlier. Got one USB-C downstream with power delivery right here, 140. Then you got two more USB-Cs and you got two more here. So that's a total of 5 USB-Cs port. So that's plenty. 4 plus 1 because one is downstream. Then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 USB-A ports. And you have your power audio jack, and then you have a RJ45 Ethernet connectivity. So integrated hub, this is awesome. I've used it plenty on my U3223, which is now going to become my secondary monitor, and this one's going to be the main monitor, and I'm going to daisy chain the other Dell through this one. Okay, here is the monitor right here. So once again, you can see the awesome connectivity here. So one thing I note here is, I don't know if you can see it, but there's like a purple fringe that I see all along here, all around the borders of the screen. It's really all around. I don't know if you can see this very clearly on the camera. I don't know if it's going to be visible or not. I'm comparing this with my U3223QE that I have right here now on the stand, and this one does not have any of that. So we'll see if there's something, will that impact the image or not? I don't know. So when you're starting up the monitor for the first time, you see this menu where you can select your language. I'm just going to select here English. So just like on any regular Ultra Sharp, you have the power button right here, and then you have this knob right here, which enables you to basically move around in the OSD in the menu of the monitor, and then to confirm, you can just press this button for selecting your option. So now I have booted into Fedora. I'm on the login screen, and I can already see that the color here is much more darker and deeper. Now I haven't done touched any of the presets that come with the monitor, so we'll see that in a bit. But one thing that is a bit annoying, I will say, is that this whole purple kind of smear that I see around the panel here. I can see it specifically here because there's more light coming in from the right-hand side here. I don't have that on the I'll call the old monitor the 23. So this is the 23, the 32-inch, the older brother of this monitor, which is a 25 right here. So it's a bit annoying, to be fair, like because I know that this is not normal to have this kind of, I would say, purple fringing on the panel, but we'll see. So right now I'll have, this might be a cinema mode, maybe, or a dark mode, but it's looking nice. It's looking okay. I'm going to turn on the other one here, so see if the daisy chaining is working. Just hoping that there won't be any light bleed here. The glowing, I know that it will be there. Can't do anything about it, just the way the technology works. So let's see. This is normally the 25 right here is the new IPS Black panel of Dell. So in 2 years, I'm hoping that they have improved the technology a bit and it'll just be better. So now I've put back the same wallpaper that I had done with the LG 6K. So if you want to see the other video, just to kind of get an impression of the panel here. And I'm really, really happy to report that there is really minimum glow when it comes to the panel here of the 25. And on the left-hand side, you can see this is a 23. Right now, I'm in pitch black here, and you can see a bit more glow here on the old panel here, the 23. I definitely see there's more light here, and it has nothing to do with the angle because I'm right now looking at it straight. And the 25 has definitely less. So overall, really happy with the glow here. I don't see any light bleed either. So also that is good. That is good. I'm a bit annoyed by that purple thing we can see on the screen just when the screen is off. But right now, like this, when I'm seeing this is great. The blacks look decent enough. Let's take a little step back here, and I'm going to run a bit HDR content on both monitors, so that way we can really appreciate how this monitor is performing, the 25 here compared to the old one on the left. But before that, let me quickly go into the menus here and see if we can improve a bit the black rendering here. I haven't checked the brightness level or anything like that, so let's have a quick look at what, maybe it's just the brightness that is low and that's why. So let's see, the brightness right now is at 75. That's like how I've always kept my monitor. So I'm pretty happy about that. And the contrast is at 100. So normally I also keep the contrast at 75 here. So there you go, because I know that the 23 on the left-hand side. But to me, like to my eyes right now, very happy. No light bleed anywhere. Minimum glow. Panel is looking solid. So quite relieved here that most likely I will be definitely keeping this. Just hope that I will be able to figure out what that whole thing is about on the panel. But overall, looking good. So let's run through some images and backgrounds and see how the color performs. So let me go and see first of all what was the rendering here in terms of color mode. So on color mode here, I'm on standard. So I'm just going to go into color space here, and I'm going to go into RGB. Okay, so I'm going to select here RGB, and I'm going to do the same thing here on the 23 so that it's a fair comparison. So I'm going to go here and color here, and I'm going to select here RGB. Okay, so both are in RGB now. It's RGB, that is. So I'm going to now go over different color wallpapers here to show you what you can expect. And you can clearly see here that the panel seems a bit more dark here compared to the left-hand side. I'm just going to confirm that the brightness on the 23 is still at a 75%, and so is the contrast. So yeah, so the brightness is at 75 and the contrast is at 75. Same color mode. So hopefully this would be better. What I'm going to do, I'm going to try to first change a bit the arrangement, because there is a bit of an angle, so that wouldn't be a fair comparison compared to the both. So what I'm going to do is going to put them flat side by side, take a step back. So let's see, I think that would be a more fair comparison. Okay, so now I've put both monitors side by side, and so we'll be able to see how the colors are. So let's have a look. So this is gray. Now, this is one of the reasons why I also didn't want to go for OLED, because a lot of my coding, my developer environments they're all dark gray. And on the tandem OLEDs, unfortunately, the latest one technology for OLED that came out in 2026, they have vertical bandings apparently. I saw that. So I just wanted to be on the safe side for the time being, and we'll see how the technology evolves in the next 2-3 years, and maybe. So this is the gray. I think that on the right-hand side, what I can see is that the IPS Black, the new panel, the 25 one on the right-hand side, seems to be a bit more on the dark side. Maybe, wait, I think I was a bit cut off here on, so there you go. Okay, so now let's try to go through different color wallpapers and see how they look like. So on the right-hand side, I just see it's a bit more darker. It's a bit more contrasty, although both of them are at 75% brightness and 75% contrast. So definitely the panel is different. You would hope so, but I think that the 23 is still holding pretty well in all fairness. And let's see a bit on different more colors. Let's see. So the left-hand side, that's the old model. It looks a bit brighter to me, slightly, not that much, although the brightness levels are the same. And yeah, I think the 23 is good. The 25 is also looking very good. Right now, do I see a major difference really jumping to my eyes that this panel is way better or whatever? No, it's maybe incremental, but honestly, like, you would have to put them side by side as you're seeing like that to see a real difference. So I just think that maybe the LG panel compared to the 6K that I reviewed previously, I felt really in the comparison that there was a much deeper color, and maybe the colors were better on the LG 6K, but this panel is still very good. The 25 on the right hand side and the 23, yeah, it's great. It's still holding its own compared to a more recent model. That's 3 years later, because I believe it came out, the 23 came out end like really end 22, and so it was 23, but it was maybe still on the old technology. I don't know if it was like a new technology panel that they came out with. So I think that overall the 23 is still doing good. So now I have changed the configuration in terms of connectivity. The 25 now on the right-hand side is connecting to the 23 through Thunderbolt. So now we're going to test if on the right-hand side I can get 120 Hertz and only 60 Hertz on the left-hand side, which would be great because that's exactly how I intend to use this monitor. So I'm going to go here on the right-hand side. I'm choosing 120 Hertz. I'm going to apply this. And hopefully both of the screens are kind of going to come back up, and I'll be able to have this kind of mix mode. But it seems that it's not working. And I'm actually maybe not that surprised, because there's something that I noticed. So we're going to wait that. So one thing I noticed is that when they're both connected like this, when I was changing the color on the right-hand side, it was the same color being applied on both monitors. So that's good in a way. So let me actually show this to you. So you can see that when I'll change the color modes here, both of the screens are going to change at the same time. So this is movie, this is game, and then if I go into other settings, like custom color, you can see that it's all in sync. So this, I would say, is good because it's simpler to manage it this way. However, because of that, I think is also that the refresh rate might be it might be obliged to keep both refresh rates in sync. Okay, so actually I figured out the problem, what it was, and lo and behold, it was actually my DisplayPort cable. I did not use the DisplayPort cable that came with the new monitor. I was still using an old DisplayPort cable, and you know what? Yeah, the cables, as we know, sometimes they do matter, and I thought it wouldn't have really mattered here, but it does. So I now can happily put 120 hertz here on the right-hand side, and right now I've just selected 120 hertz, and I'm applying this, and you'll see that now, no problem, the monitor will come back up and asks me if I want to keep the setting, the changes, and I'm saying yes, and there you go. So I've got 120 hertz here, and I've got back at my 60 here, and definitely I can see the difference here. Like there's like no tearing here on the right hand side when I'm moving this, much less. Like, and here on the 32, boy, I can definitely see the tear happening. So yeah, 120, man, this is much more comfortable, and this is great when you have seen this. So let me do now a comparison with a browser so that you can, I hope this would go through. So let's see. So now I'm just scrolling here. On the right hand side I have 120 hertz, and on the left hand side I'm at 60 hertz. I don't know if this is going to be visible or not, like if I'm scrolling super fast. I'm going to try this also a bit closer on. I'm also going to try this now just dedicated on each monitor and do a side by side. I can definitely see a difference between the 120 and 60. There's like no debate there. 120 hertz, and I reckon that, yeah, once you get used to 120 hertz, even in productivity mode, there is no going back to 60. You will be very annoyed. I've never like worked. I've just been happy with 60 hertz, but just by doing this comparison, I can definitely see once you're used to it, it would be hard to go back. The whites are definitely better here on the left-hand side on the old model than on the right. The right one is a bit more warm here when I'm looking at this. Through the camera, the color definitely looks different. I can see on the camera here, this is much more white, and it's also is whiter in real life. And it is whiter when I'm seeing this directly myself. And this one has a bit more yellow tint to it. So I don't know why that is, because they're normally supposed to be in the same mode, both of them. So it seems to me that more and more that I've compared my old 23 with the LG 6K, and now with this, I really hit the lottery. Maybe on the 23 here, I got a really good panel here on the left-hand side. And on the right-hand side, well, apparently this is how the 25 is rendering it. And so I'll see. I'll see in the use. The color seems okay, but it's true that this looks very warm. Looks a bit, you know, washed. I mean, it looks a bit yellowish, slightly, just slightly, and it's more apparent like that. You can definitely see the shift, right, of the white color here. So now I have booted into Windows, and interestingly enough, the monitor that was working fine out of the box in Linux is not working in Windows. So I checked the firmware, and my firmware is up to date, so there's no problem there. I've just installed the Dell drivers just in case. So I'm going to plug back in now the 23 and the Dell 25 monitor and daisy chain, and let's see if that works. So I've plugged back in the 23 and daisy chain with Thunderbolt, and interestingly enough, yeah, it's not, it went back into standby mode. So that is very, very strange, because, so I'm just gonna see on this setup if I've maybe done an incorrect connection, and which I really think it is, but it's weird because it was just working fine in Linux, so the connectivity should be fine then. I don't see why it would not be. So on Windows, I wasn't, for the time being, able to make the Thunderbolt daisy chaining work. It works fine in Linux. I know it's funny, but it is what it is. So I'm back into daisy chaining with DisplayPort, and that is working fine. And on the right-hand side, I have the 25, and that is right now in 120 hertz. And on the left-hand side, I have the 23, and that's in 60 hertz. So Before I go and show you the gaming part, let's do an HDR video comparison and then see, how they both perform.
A minute until midnight. I'm just wondering where you at. Just thought I'd call and wish you good night. I left my key under the mat. I don't get anything done, you're stuck on my mind. I keep on missing your touch, missing your vibe. This feeling might go when I say what we had. Won't you come on over? Don't you miss me too? Give it all you got, babe. Give it all you got, baby. I'd rather try than lose you. Give it all you got, baby. Give me all you got.
So as you can see, maybe, but the difference is very minimal. Like it's not completely like jaw-dropping or whatever. It's just maybe an incremental, and in my case, I don't even see the incremental here change in terms of overall, brightness panel. The 23 is very, very solid compared to this 25. So am I disappointed? I wouldn't necessarily say that. The panel is still very good. Finish, build quality, and the 120 hertz refresh rate is actually very good. So it's just that I was still expecting the blacks to be a bit more deeper. They are in some cases, don't get me wrong, they are, but when I'm just looking at this side by side, there's nothing that's really like jumping out of there. I see in some pictures here and there when I was looking at some other images that I didn't show you in this video that there was a bit more darker rendering, but that's maybe also because of how the whole color scheme right now is set up in the monitor. I don't know, but the whites are definitely better right now on the 23. There's no doubt there. So let's wrap this up by showing you some footage of Helldivers 2 in gaming, and let me know what you think.
Market.
So if you guys have been also using this Dell monitor U3225QE, I believe, then by all means do drop me a comment. I would be interested to hear your feedback and your experience. Did you get a good panel? Did your panel also have kind of like little haze over it around all of the edges? And is your white okay? I mean, or how did you improve it? Just let me know in the comments. We'd be really interested to get your feedback. All right, guys. I hope this was informative. I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.